Welcome to the Lead It Culture podcast, where every episode is about learning how to grow and thrive in today's culture, rather than letting the culture define who we are. Here are your hosts, Kenny Mason and Edgar Ruiz.
Hey, guys. How's it going? We are back with another one. My name is Kenny. I'm with Edgar, the awesome... I don't got other. Okay, we're just gonna go with excellent Edgar. Okay, we talked about.
It's hard. It's hard to find one.
It is. I really tried to find one. Next episode, I'm coming with something. Okay. I'm coming with something. If you in the comments, if you know something that would go good with Edgar's name, comment below and put something that can go good with his name because we need something. Okay. So, Edgar, how's it going today, man?
It's good. It's good. I'm excited for the conversation today.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what we're gonna be talking about, following up from the last time that we talked about this.
For sure. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And we are, if you did not watch or listen, to our last podcast, it was on how to embrace diversity and racial reconciliation. It was really good. Edgar and I talked from a standpoint of our childhood and how that was growing up and just kind of a few things. On this episode, this is part 2 of that. And we're going to be talking about how that looks in the world of a student and like middle school, high school, parents. What can you do to make sure that you are helping your kid? And then how does that look in the world of a young adult, a college student? So
for sure.
So let's just break it off.
Yeah.
What does a parent, as far as a middle schooler parent, what do they need to do to embrace diversity? Making sure that they are embracing diversity.
Yeah, and I think from personal experience in middle school, and even now with working with middle school students, I think the biggest thing I've seen, it's not as big of an issue as it is with older students or young adults, but I think definitely the issue with racial jokes.
Yeah.
Where when I had my friends, we were all different diversities, all from different cultures, and we would joke with one another. Those we would have racist jokes with one another. It was hilarious, right? But if I say that to someone who I don't really know, or if I say it even to my friend around people who don't know the context of our friendship, who don't know the context of the conversation, they don't know exactly why we're saying it or why we're saying the joke, whatever, it can be taken in a very, very wrong way.
Yeah.
And also that then paints you as a racist. You don't care about other cultures. Yeah. Or if you make, let's say, a joke towards black people with your black friend, now you're seen as a racist and you don't like black people. You don't like white people. You don't like Hispanics.
And that couldn't have been your heart.
Exactly.
That wasn't your heart. It was just a joke. Yeah.
It was just, in your eyes, it's just a joke that you're telling your friend and then you're talking with your friend about. You don't actually mean it. Yeah. You in your mind and in your heart, you love everybody. Yeah. And you get along well with every culture. But that's not what it seems. And someone else can take it in a very, in the wrong way. And then now they don't respect you. You don't get that respect. Yeah. And anytime you want to talk to that person, it's already met with standoffish approach because of what they heard you say. Yeah. So I advice to middle school students, just watch what you're saying. Yeah. I think words carry a big weight. Huge, especially if you don't know the context behind if people don't know the context behind what you're saying.
And if they say that, oh, it's okay, I don't mind it. Like some people might not really mean that.
Yeah.
You could have said that joke and then you could have been like, hey dude, I'm sorry. And they could have been like, oh, it's okay, you can say that. Yeah. But, don't take that as a green pass, like a pass to keep joking. Stop the jokes, because it could be very offensive to them. It's where you can't take words back. Yeah. Everybody's seen that toothpaste analogy.
Yes.
You squeeze the toothpaste, it's out, you can't put it back in. Yeah. That's exactly what it's like when it jokes. So.
Yeah. And I think the consistency of it too, to kind of go along with that, even if it's with your friends, like a close friend, if you're constantly bashing on their race, even though you're not meaning anything bad by it, they're going to start to wonder, does he actually not like
exactly
race? Or even that begins to plant a seed in you of the first thing you're going to think of when you think of this race is going to be that joke, which is most likely not going to be a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
So it begins to change your heart towards it, even if that's not the goal at the beginning.
Yeah, so that's in the world of a middle schooler, and obviously parents, can help with that in that area. But what about high school? Because that's obviously a different level.
Yeah.
So like from joking and being around, what do you think that the high school student, that freshman, sophomore, mainly junior and senior, because they're kind of approaching and entering the real world, if you want to say that. So what are some ways that they can embrace diversity?
I think in high school, everything from middle school is heightened. So I think now if there's a joke that is made, you'll probably get approached by it or by somebody who heard it and didn't like it.
Yeah.
Especially someone who really takes pride in where they come from and race. You're gonna get approached.
Yeah.
And like we said in the last episode, you might get jumped.
Yeah.
Because
from middle school it goes from like, oh, it's okay. In high school it might be like, what you say?
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, dude, it's just a joke. Was it though?
Yeah.
I didn't like that. You don't see me laughing.
Right. Yeah.
And it can cut deeper.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one way to start. One way to start embracing diversity is to start kind of checking yourself. What am I saying?
Right.
Is what I'm saying embracing, or is it just tearing down? And then also, I think checking these little moments of prejudice. I heard it said from an old friend of mine that everyone is prejudiced towards other people in some regard. And he brought the example of, let's say you're at a restaurant and the waiter comes and the waiter has an accent because he's not from here.
Yeah.
And it takes him 2 or 3 times to understand your order. You're probably going to start getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Why are you getting frustrated? Because of the accent.
Right, yeah.
And because it's taking a little more to understand. And I think those little things, especially in high school, can mean a lot.
Yeah.
When someone who is, let's say the same issue, someone who has an accent and doesn't understand or is having trouble explaining what they're trying to say to you, and you're having a little bit of trouble understanding, instead of being like snippy or snapping, like, dude, like enunciate. Like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Say like, I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. Like, just say it one more time.
With your words. Yeah.
So like, that will be received in such a better way too. And not only from that person, but they can see you embracing that person, where they're from, how they talk, that they're even if they have bad grammar. That was me growing up. I knew English, but I had a little bit of bad grammar. The CHs and the SHs, man, the chair
tricky.
And share, like still to this day.
They say that the English language is the trickiest, one of the hardest languages for other people coming into America to understand.
It's and personally, I think it's just the I want to say like the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to read a book. I read a book. It's spelled the same way.
Right.
But context is so important.
And even words like so.
Yeah.
Do. To.
So, do, though, through.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah,
It's tricky. It is tricky.
For sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it's like coming in and, So,
and so I learned Spanish or English in Puerto Rico and started learning when I was like 4. So I moved here blessed that I could speak, write, and read English.
Yeah.
But I can even imagine students who come from, like in my school, my middle school growing up, there was a heavy population of El Salvadorians or Salvadorians. It was a big population. Most Hispanics were Salvadorians.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for it. Like, I think a lot of them migrated to that Virginia area I don't remember why.
Yeah.
But there was a reason for it. And most of them came with families and with students who didn't know a lot of English. And I remember being in middle school and even in high school, me being Hispanic, I would be prejudiced towards my own, towards Hispanics, because I was like, I don't understand all that you're saying, and I would get annoyed.
Yeah. Wow,
and I remember having some bitterness towards them.
Yeah.
And that was something I had to work through. So if you're asking, can you be racist towards your own kind? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Definitely, just, and I think the biggest thing is just hatred. And the biggest thing is just like, you can hate your own, you know. and really just kind of go into a place of like not liking, you know. I think it all comes down to just when you you being annoyed, you being frustrated, you being angry at like your people or your culture is the biggest thing towards it. The little moments of prejudice is just really key and essential. That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's not good, but I'm saying that what you said was good about it, not that it's good. Yeah.
No, and so I think in tying it back to high school, I think in high school too. It starts in middle school where students start to find their identity in different things. They want to see who they are, what has made them. And in high school, it's even more heightened, like everything else. And people tend to put their identity in their race.
Right, yeah.
And, well, I think your race, that's a part of you, and it's your culture and your background and how you were raised and all that. And the history of the people of where you came from, it doesn't make you who you are. But because some students are going to be saying, I'm Puerto Rican, and that's who I am. I'm black, that's who I am. They're going to take even more offense to anything else that happens throughout their school. Any joke. And I saw that firsthand in my high school. People getting into fights over things that weren't meant whoever said it or did it meant it to come across as.
Right. And I would even say in high school, know what you're saying before you say it. Yeah. Like you can say I'm this, I'm that, but you don't have the full grasp or full understanding of that culture. So before you go out and you flex and brag about you being black or Hispanic, whatever, and then because sometimes we look at like people getting offended and think that we have to be offended. Yeah. But you have no idea what that even means, that word means. You have no idea what that. So I would say like, in high school, like go to your parents and talk to them about your culture if you don't understand like what you are, where you come from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the perfect age to, go find out who you are because that is an important piece of information. And then I will also say in high school, that is the most important time to get to know. Like people that are white at your school, that are black at your school, that are Hispanic, that are Middle Eastern, whatever. Yeah. Take the time in high school to find out, somebody that doesn't look like you and ask them questions. You know what I'm saying? Do they have the same class as you? Do they eat lunch with you? Do y'all have electives together? Or do are you doing driver's ed together or behind the wheel, whatever it's called nowadays? And just try to get to know that person. I think high school is a perfect age for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, there's this preconceived or like this concept of like if you're black or if you're Hispanic, like you live in the projects.
Right.
And if you don't live in the projects, you're not actually black or Hispanic. You're a fake black. You're a fake Hispanic. It's same thing backwards. If you're white, you're rich. Yeah. You got money.
Misconceptions.
And if you don't misconceptions, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. If you're white, you don't live in the projects. Yeah. But if you live in the projects, you're not white.
Yeah. Don't believe those stereotypes. These are stereotypes that you go to a black person and say that. It's offensive. You go to a white person and say that. It's not true. You know what I'm saying? All white people are not. Now, I grew up saying those things because, that's what I heard on radio, TV, jokes. Sure. And it all starts with jokes, I think. And that's why I love what you said that. Like, be careful with the jokes. It starts as jokes. Yeah. And then we start to believe those jokes.
Exactly. It plants that seed.
Yeah, it plants a seed. And now that joke is really not the truth, because the way they say about jokes is 10% of truth in every joke.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I think when it comes to race, it's about 90% of truth in every joke. Because you believe that. That's why you said that joke. You believe that. And somewhat, So I think a part of you is playing around because you want to be funny, but at the same time, you're like, well, isn't that true? Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe you should go and ask questions instead of having misconceptions, instead of having assumptions that black people are all in the poor, like are all in the hood, or Hispanics are, don't do this or they are in the hood, like ask around, and get to know more history of where you come from. So
because it can make you look at your family. If you're in middle school or high school, it can make you look at your, let's say you're you're a black kid and you live in the suburbs. You're pretty well off. You're doing well, or your family's doing well. It can make you look at your family and not appreciate what you have or the work that they've put in to put you in this situation.
Right.
And then on the flip side, let's say you're a white student living in the projects.
Yeah.
Living in not the best neighborhood, it can make you look at your family and say, why aren't we out there?
Right.
Why did you mess up?
Right.
And why are we here? And in reality, that's not true.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
It can really do damage not just to the student, but to the home life and the family life at the home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more damage that can be done with those.
Because now you feel entitled, especially, and we can talk about entitlement too. I mean, entitlement is a huge thing, but yeah, that's like a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that in the world of a young adult, you should, just like we said in high school, you should have taken that time as a high schooler. If you're a parent listening to this, talk to your kids while in high school so that when they graduate high school, because now they're in the real world, they're big girls, big boys.
Yeah.
What they believe, what they were taught, and what they heard in middle school and high school is what they are going to believe when they are in college and when they are a young adult. Yeah. So now they're in the real world, believing things that may be not true about that white person, that black person, that whatever culture, the Hispanic person, the Middle Eastern, the African, the Asian, all of them,
everything,
everything. Yeah. So you have to work at it, and I think if you're listening to this and you are in college and you are a young adult and you are in your profession, you just focus on your profession. If you heard the last episode, I worked at the bank. Edgar worked at the bank as well. You have to, embrace that culture that is there, because it's only as awkward as you make it, and I think that the more you branch out and the more you try to be more understanding, the more confident you will feel around somebody that doesn't look like you.
Yeah. For sure.
The more at peace you'll be around with people who don't look like you. Because now I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm happy with being me,
Sure.
Because I understand that culture. And now I can love them better. How about that?
Exactly.
Now I can appreciate you more because I heard your story. I heard your history. I understand what you go through. Now I can, start to appreciate you more. I got a different perspective about you now. And now the jokes that I heard in middle school as a young adult, now I'm going back to my middle school life where I heard those jokes. And I kind of believed them. And I was in high school and I heard and I laughed at those jokes and I said those jokes. But now, if I give more time to understand, which I should have did in high school, I can, have a different perspective about, all of those around me. Now I can love and appreciate and acknowledge and understand better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
absolutely. That's good.
That's what I would say to that. So all good stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was a good. We might do a part 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
But part 1,
it is
part
a running
2,
topic.
It is. It is a running topic. But I think we should just pretty much end it there. That was
we can
good.
end it there. Thank you, Kenny. Good conversations.
Yeah, good one. That was a good one, man.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, leave a comment below if you're on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know anything you want us to talk about, any future topics.
Also leave a comment what I can call Edgar in front of his name. It has to begin with the E. Got to begin with an E. I need something.
We'll see. I've never thought of one, so we'll see if y'all can think of something.
Yeah. Let us know.
Thank you, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Like the video if you're on YouTube. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos that are dropped, any future episodes. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure you like and follow so you don't miss out on any future podcasts. We love y'all. Thank y'all for everything, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.